Hi everyone, I am Wietse and this is the Bachelor Project podcast. And it's actually the last episode already, as I've handed in my thesis and I've had my presentation already. So, after this podcast, I will be done with my bachelor basically. So, let's get started quickly so I can have some more free time. No, all jokes aside. I will talk about the conclusions of my research. I will talk about a little bit about the limitations of this study, and I will shortly introduce my recommendation for the examination of next year. So let's get started with the conclusions. And this research found that out of the 80 generated exams I made, 55 of them passed the bar, so above a 5.5 out of 10, meaning that this is a percentage of 86.8%, more than half of the exam passed the bar, partly accepting my hypotheses. If you look at the model specifically, I used 4 models. Please watch my earlier videos to see which one these were. But 3 out of 4 passed the bar on average. And the one that did not was Notebook LM. The reason probably for this is that Notebook LM cannot perform data analysis on itself, therefore not being able to score all those points. It will give you code, but for my research, this is not enough. Then moving on to my next hypothesis is that I expected the student-based prompts to score not score higher than literal exam questions as prompts, and unfortunately, this hypothesis was accepted. There was no significant difference between the two, in line with my hypotheses. And for my other hypotheses, I found that the dataset you give to the LLM does not matter. Including images gives you a higher score than excluding them, which is maybe quite logical. And reproduction questions score higher on average than application and insight questions, in line with my hypotheses too. So those are the conclusions of my hypotheses, and then my limitations. And my biggest limitation is time, because AI and LLMs are a moving object. They get better every second. And I try to measure them at one point, which had a period of more than 1 month. So quite hard. And as I started out, I included Cloud Opus 4.6 as one of my models. Cloud 4.8 is already out by the time I'm recording this, and even Cloud Fable 5 is it is already out, but it's already limited by the US government. So LLMs have gotten so much better already in the time I'm recording this. Imagine how much better they will be at the point of examination in next January. Notebook LM was the only LLM that did not pass the bar on average, because it cannot perform data analysis on itself. Give it a few months. It will probably do it for you, and also score higher or pass the bar on average. So that brings me to my recommendation for next year's examination. Please do not use or let students use AI on the exam. Please do not. Because, they will pass the course without having to know any statistical knowledge or learning objectives. So what will my recommendation be? Go back to a sort of standard exam. Now they have to bring their own laptop, run data analysis on their own laptop, and they can use whatever there is on their own laptop. But yeah, bringing your own laptop introduces the probability of using AI on the exam, and you want to counter that. So it is my recommendation is to just give an exam without performing data analysis in it. Just test their statistical knowledge. But the course is called Practicum Data Analyse. So how do you want to tackle the practicum? Because you have to do something in order to make it a practicum. Introduce an R assignment. Let them work on code, with code in RStudio themselves at home. They will use AI probably. But then also the question is this really something you want to tackle, because well, they will do outside of this course, outside of the university. But what is important is that they understand what is happening. So if you want to um, grade the R assignments, focus on the process, about the explanation of their code, ask hard questions about their code, and see if they understand what they're doing, because that's more important than the output, because the output, everybody can produce code now. So, yeah, concluding from recommendations is standard exam in, for example, Remindo, and an R assignment to tackle the practicum part of the course. And then I wanted to shortly mention the writing of my thesis, as probably some of you know from my first podcast, that I'm not writing my thesis text, but my goal was to write a thesis prompt. And on the day of submitting, I have put this thesis prompt in an LLM, and it generated a thesis text. Here's a picture of me writing my thesis text within 10 minutes, which was a real fun thing to do. And I hope this way of writing the thesis reaches more than just me. Hopefully, this will give some people ideas within the university, or even wider without the university. So that's for the writing part. And then I think I am done with the podcast and with my research. So I want to thank you all for listening. And well, this was the Bachelor Project podcast. Thank you. Bye.